Good morning, this is Heather from weddingsbyheather.com and the Flourish Academy. I'm so excited to be back from vacation, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick tip for booking weddings, either your first or more. But first, I wanted to remind you that if you are in the Pittsburgh area, on Sunday we're having a photographer's prop swap and sale at our property. We live about 20 minutes from the airport, and we had one of these earlier this year. My friend Susie and I hosted it, and it went really well. We had a great turnout. People were able to sell and swap, and it was fantastic. Also, Ella is making more cupcakes, and last evening she ran a test and she produced this pumpkin spice cupcake from scratch with a cinnamon cream cheese frosting, and it is amazing. And she'll be selling these at the prop swap on Sunday. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, make sure you stop by. Think of it as like a big photographer's flea market. So there will be props, there will be backdrops, there will probably be camera gear, bodies, lenses. A few people were selling lenses last time, so make sure you join us. That's a lot of fun. Okay, the quick tip for weddings today. Oh, and I have a wedding today. That's why it's so early and I'm all dressed up. But anyway, I was talking with my friend Leanne this week, and she was recounting the importance of answering your phone. And she said that she booked 4 weddings this week simply because she answered her phone. Now, if you're thinking this is simplistic or silly or intuitive, of course I would answer my phone. Think again, because I call a lot of you and no one ever answers their phone. I'm guilty of this as well. I try to keep my phone on my person and answer whenever possible. And in fact, I remember a wedding I did a few years ago. I had not met the bride until the day of the wedding. She had booked online and via phone. But anyway, when I first arrive at the bride's home, I try to be really low key. I don't want anyone to notice me, so I kind of, sneak in and walk in the corner, and I'm just really quiet. I'm photographing, and I walked in, and the bride was like, oh, and by the way, she had like 1 million people in her bridal party, and she's like, everybody, Heather's here, and she's making this big fuss about me, and I was sort of embarrassed, and I was like, no, Heather's not here. But she said, whatever Heather asks you, make sure you do it, because she's my favorite vendor. And I was like, wow, thank you. And so I was like, what's up? And she said, you are the only person that ever answered your phone when I called. Now, it was just kind of lucky that I always answered when she called, but it's so important to answer your phone. Okay, if you cannot answer the phone, then make sure that you call people back, because if you don't, you're going to lose their business. So for Leanne to book 4 weddings in 1 week simply because she answered the phone is amazing. Now, I had a friend several years ago, actually, I know exactly when this was. I was pregnant with Evan, so it was 9 years ago. And she's an incredibly talented artist, very good photographer. And she says to me, Heather, I'm just not sure why I'm not booking as many weddings as I used to, or what's going on? Is the industry changing? I said, I'm not sure, because your work is amazing. So then a few days later, I tried to call her. Not only did she not answer, her voicemail was full. A full voicemail means that someone cannot leave you a message. Not only that, but the message you just sent to that potential client is that you are too busy to speak to them. And who wants to hire someone that is so swamped in work, their voicemail is full, and they can never answer their phone? So I said to her, well, number one, you need to clear out that voicemail and answer your phone if you can, because nobody can get in touch with you. And another thing that is really troubling to me, is there anyone watching that does not have a voicemail greeting set up? You have the generic voicemail greeting. Oh, the person at number 412-555-1212 is not available. Please leave a message. Are you kidding? Then I don't even know if I called the right phone number. I hate that. And when I mentor a client and I call them and that happens, I'm like, no, the first thing you're going to do is create a greeting for your voicemail. Now, if you are not a full-time photographer, don't give me an excuse that you can't create a greeting. You could simply say, hi, my name is Sally. I'm sorry I can't take your call right now. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. How hard is that? So right now, if you don't have a voicemail greeting, please set one up. Make sure your voicemail isn't full. Call people back, and by all means, answer the phone. Leanne just posted a link to Google voicemail. Her and I both have Google phone numbers because we don't want to use our obviously, our personal cell phone number, but our Google Voice numbers go to our cell phones, and you can tell when it's coming to your normal number or to your Google Voice number. It has a separate voicemail, and if I don't answer that call, it sends me a link for the message, but it also transcribes it and sends it to me in text, which is sometimes hilarious because it gets it really wrong, but it's super, super nice. It's free. Google Voice is free. You can go grab a phone number. You can choose your exchange, so if you want a particular city, and you can even choose your phone number. So my phone number is 412 for Pittsburgh, 701, and then 4, the number 4, and then God. I don't even know what those numbers are because I love Jesus. So that's the number I picked, and that's what I use on my site. Kathy says she did not know this. That's awesome. Thank you. Brian says all 3 of their phones ring with Google Voice. Also means we're not giving out personal numbers. Exactly. So people have your Google Voice number and they can call you and you're going to answer, but you're going to get back when you can. Now, I'm not suggesting that you are 100% always available to your clients, right? If it's a Sunday, I do not answer my phone. I typically don't answer my phone later in the evening. Sometimes in the evening, if I'm available, I will answer. But if I'm with my family or busy, no, of course I'm going to let it go to voicemail, but I'm going to reply or call back immediately. And at that point, when you're working with new clients, you need to meet the client on the platform that they reached out to you on, at least initially. So if they called you, you need to call them and not just email. If they emailed and you reply, then you need to suggest a phone call so that you can speak. But you need to at least initially meet them where they're at. I have several mentoring clients that book their sessions online via my website without speaking to me, and they just, it comes into my calendar and I see that they've scheduled an appointment. I have another handful of clients that always call me to schedule, and so I answer the phone and I speak to them. I booked 2 sessions this week based on phone calls that I did not have in my schedule for this week. So Christina says she is loving this. Thank you, Christina, even though it does mean that I have to talk. Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, she got a phone call, waiting for pizza, desperate to book a photographer for her son's bar mitzvah just a few weeks away. Very good. Leanne says last night she talked with a mother of the groom who talked for 30 minutes and she wants to hire me for her son and daughter's wedding. 2 weddings, 1 phone call. It's the best. Yeah, and they think that you are available and professional and they love that. And you know what? This has nothing to do with the photos. Of course they like your photos. But if that woman called several photographers and Leanne was the only one that answered that evening, then Leanne's got the gig. She's got 2 gigs as a result of it. Do not underestimate this and think, oh, I'm not going to answer my phone. I'm too busy. All right, well then you're not going to get clients. Answer your phone and get back to people. Any other thoughts or questions? I am photographing at the Indiana Country Club today, which is on the other side of the planet for me, but that's okay. It's about 2 hours away. I'm second shooting today. So there's a primary photographer that hired me as a mentoring session. So this is the most fun I have all year. I love second shooting weddings, all of the fun, none of the pressure. I turn over my cards to her at the end of the day, or I Dropbox her the files. She has all of my images, so she wins, the client wins. I love it. It's perfect. I'm happy to be home. I missed you guys. And Leanne says, if you're not good on the phone, it's an easy way to listen and actually have, and Facebook won't let me expand to that comment. But yes, you can make yourself speak on the phone and just have a series of questions that you always ask if you get nervous, and then they'll answer and the conversation will go from there. I mean, it's probably better that you do more listening and less talking anyway. Obviously, they're calling to inquire and ask you questions maybe about your style or your pricing, but the more you can ask questions and the more they talk, the better the conversation, because the more they're going to like you. They're going to think you're awesome. Okay, Sunday, don't forget about Sunday, the photographer prop swap and sale here at our property. Susie and I host this. sell your props, buy your props, whatever you like to do, exchange. Angela will be here with her flower crowns. She'll be making things. She's super talented. So Ella will be selling cupcakes. So make sure you stop by. I hope that you have a great weekend if you're photographing. I'm off to a wedding and I will talk to you soon.